Good evening, everyone. This is Jeremy Webb, Neptune Theatre's artistic director, back again for another episode of Off the Leash, our nightly dip into a theatrical world during a global crisis. We thought we'd keep connected with you all while we're all isolated at home, setting up offices and studios in our basements and doing whatever we can to survive and keep out of the way of the people that are doing the real work at the moment, getting this thing under control. Every night we're joined by some special guests. Tonight is no different. The only different thing tonight is I have brought with me a bottle of Bollinger. This was given to me as a gift by Genevieve Steele on the opening night of Calendar Girls, the last show that appeared on the Neptune stage before we had to shut everything down. I plan to open that tonight and have a glass with you all. I have two wonderful guests with me. They are glorious, they are gorgeous, they are fantastic, and they have become friends over the last year or two. And I'm thrilled to have them here. I'm going to bring them straight in so that we can get on with the conversation. Please welcome my guests, Avery Jean Brennan and Breton Lalama. And here they come. It worked. The technology worked, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you both?
I'm great. All those things you just said about us are true, so it's great to be here.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a very low-key night. I can feel it.
Exactly. I got my beer, I got my straw, I'm ready to go.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And
Chin.
cheers. I think I might win a little tonight just for the fact that I've got actually it's actually champagne. I didn't realize Bollinger was champagne. That's how much I know about what I'm about to drink. So first off, I ask everyone the same question to start us off. How are you doing? Where are you? Are you safe? Are you secure? Are you going nuts yet? Avery Jean, go.
Yes, I'm in Toronto. I'm here in my house. I live with a bunch of other queer artists and creators, and we're just having a good time together and staying relatively sane. I'm just doing whatever I can right now to be comfortable and just have fun. I mean, like as much fun as we can have through this, but
yeah. And you've been quite active on the interweb as well. You have been doing all kinds of things. Maybe we'll get to that in a second. Breton, how are you doing? Where are you? Wait, I know where you are because I followed your journey. But tell everyone else.
Yes. I had planned my move to Halifax. Yes, Halifax. Prior to the COVID-19 breakout. And I thought, ain't no pandemic gonna stop me from moving. So I'm in Halifax. I have 2 days left of government enforced quarantine, and then I can leave my apartment. So while I, am in Halifax, I haven't actually been able to be outside yet. So I could be anywhere in the world right now.
I know.
So am I going a bit crazy? Yes, a little bit. Yes.
I think it was April Fool's Day where you texted me and said, come to your front door or something like that, thinking that I would not know.
Okay, I just thought you would. Jeremy Webb, stranger things have happened.
It's true. It's true. I would have actually been so impressed if you'd shown up right outside my door. I'm just going to open this. Hold on. I'm going to hold it away from my computer. Can you imagine? The whole of Neptune Theatre disappeared because my computer got covered in champagne. Oh, the perfect open. Cheers to you both. So, Avery Jean, tell us what you've been up to in the last couple of weeks of isolation. You've been involved in a couple of events and a couple of shenanigans.
A few things, I just thought I'd take it easy and appear everywhere I could at the same time.
You?
Me? Who thought? No, I figured I have all this time off now. Let's continue to squeeze blood out of the stone. And the first day of quarantine, I was like, I like looking great all the time. I no longer have any reason to go out of my house. So I started up something called the Stay Home Ball, which is up on Facebook, where every now and then we put up different fashion challenges for people to compete in based on things that they have around their house.
Right.
Different thing every now and then. We'll just post all their things and we'll announce some winners, and I have different guest judges every time. And then through that, I had Theatre Nova Scotia give me a call 3 days into that, I think, to say, hey, do you want to host a virtual red carpet for us for the Robert Merritt Awards this year? And I said, what is that? And they went, I don't know. And I was like, great. And so I was like, you're fashionable and everyone loves you. And I was like, those are true statements. So let's do this.
So you were like, essentially, you were the Atlantic Canadian ET Canada prior to the Theatre Nova Scotia Merit Awards, where you had some guests and you were chatting and right up to the point where the award show started.
Exactly. Like I figured, my acting career has to go on hold right now, so I might as well start being a fashion correspondent.
Great. Breton, I have to say that every time you lean close to your screen, the rest of the room darkens, and it looks like you've got Leanne Vardy doing your lighting design behind you. That's so spooky.
Yeah, she's right there.
She's right up there.
Thank you.
That's a very expensive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know.
So you traveled, Breton, across the country. What was that like? I mean, like you alluded to, you chose a global pandemic to move house and cross various provinces. How many provinces do you come through? It's 1, 2, 3, right? New Brunswick.
Last time. Yes.
Yeah. Quebec.
Three. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, on the Nova Scotia border, they asked for my autograph.
They asked for your autograph? They knew you were coming. Those fans are everywhere.
Don't.
Yes, Avery Jean?
Did you just need to sign something?
No. I said, I'm an actor. And then they said, can we have your autograph? And it was 7 a.m. and I'd been driving for like many hours already. And without thinking, I said, no. And they waved me through.
I mean, I usually charge good thinking.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. When Avery Jean travels from province to province, you've got like signed photos ready to go.
Exactly. I've got 3 different headshots to choose from. I've got choose your own message. It's just you got to be prepared.
All right, let's have a little conversation now. Sorry, Laura Caswell is just teasing me right now on the Facebook comments that I managed to mention Leanne Vardy. Well, why wouldn't I mention Leanne Vardy at every available opportunity? She is the nation's lighting treasure, and now she will work at Neptune for cheap. All right, because I said that. So I do want to show you something here. This is a photo. Let's do this one first. This is a lovely moment. What's happening? What's happening in that photo, Breton?
Well,
I'm going to peer out from behind it.
Except I can't. Oh, guys, this is. If I remember correctly, this is. We are in the opening week of Pleasureville. This might be opening night even, but I don't think so. And we're having a good time. We maybe partook in a couple glasses of alcohol and had a warm embrace. Yeah, just good friends, good times.
So Pleasureville was your first show at Neptune.
Yeah, it really was.
So tell us a little bit about that process. Tell us about the audition process, and then take us through getting the role and joining us here at Neptune for the first time, if you don't mind. Even if you do, it's a talk show, you have to.
Yeah, okay. Noted and appreciated. Well, I'm a non-binary trans mask, and I just had come out as they, them, or as non-binary trans mask about 6 months before I auditioned for that show. And it was a huge deal to me because I knew Elle Denny, the writer. I knew who she was. I was a huge fan of her work, and it was the first time I had the opportunity to read her work, and I absolutely fell in love with the show. The character, Ash, who's a non-binary character that I ended up playing in the show. And I just remember learning the lines. Yeah, there we go. Learning the lines, it was so easy for the audition because it just felt like things I would say. because Ash is so me, and it was just that in itself is really special, as any actor I'm sure will tell you. But the fact that it was a non-binary character and I got to actually audition for a role that was my gender was a huge deal to me. And then walking into that room and getting to read with Avery Jean, that was when I first met Avery Jean. And right from that moment, I think she made me cry, and it's just been that ever since. And it was a really awesome audition. It was super fun, and just I left. I'd been going through a pretty depressive time with like gender dysphoria and stuff, and I left that audition feeling so good that I remember just walking down the street laughing, being like, that was a great audition. And then a couple days later at midnight, Jeremy Webb called me.
It wasn't midnight. Is it midnight? Was it midnight? That's so unprofessional.
Yeah, and I was actually no. That's the role offer. You're gonna call professional?
We'll get to that.
Yeah. But Jeremy Webb said, "Hello, this is Jeremy Webb," and I said, "Hello." And truth be told, I happened to be peeing when you called me, and I saw Jeremy Webb, so I answered, "Yeah, there you go." And now I'm bearing all. I'm sorry. And you said, "Would you like to play Ash in Pleasureville?" And I went, "Ah!" And it was, oh man, it was such a great experience. And it was my first time coming to Halifax, and that was awesome. And just the show was so good, and it like so well written, so well directed, so beautifully created that it was just so much fun to play, and it was so personally important to play. Yeah, I could talk about this forever. Stop me. Someone raise it
right now, because you came and did Pleasureville, and then while you were doing Pleasureville, you then auditioned for what? What happened then? I'm going to get back to you in a second, Avery Jean, and then the rest of the show is all about you.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, I know.
What did I audition for?
There was another show that you've been cast in at Neptune.
Oh, did I audition for that during Pleasureville?
Well,
No.
Was it not the same time?
It would have been right after.
Tell the story.
Yeah. Well, okay, sorry. I go on so many auditions, Jeremy Webb.
That's about to stop.
No, so actually, I think how it went was Pleasureville was finishing, and I received a cryptic text message from Jeremy Webb that was just a Frankenfurter meme, and
I'm not doing well in the professional image this evening. I do cast people sensibly and professionally with official offers, but I often like to make contact with the artist first and just let them know that they are cared about and wanted for a show. But this one got weird. I remember this one got weird. I also remember because I was in Edmonton directing Noises Off, and so I was in a hotel corridor. Finish the story, and then we'll all know what happened.
Can you teach me some of these British words, because corridor just sounds so much better than hall. You know, it just gives the story more.
Well, I found that since Avery Jean hung out with me on a couple of shows, her vocabulary has really expanded, and there's a lot more class. So I can help you.
I'm finally learning.
Keep hiring me. Yeah.
Finish the story.
Yes. Okay. So I auditioned for Rocky Horror Show. I auditioned for Riff Raff, and I was thinking, no way in heck I'm going to get this, because Riff Raff is traditionally played by an AMAB or an assigned male person. And so I was working in a cafe in Toronto where I used to live, and Jeremy Webb texts me saying, "Hey, can I just call you for a sec?" And I was like, I'm in public, like, yeah, I guess. And he goes, "No, I want to FaceTime you. Is there a bathroom or something that you can go to?" And of course, every bathroom in the cafe was occupied except for
Avery Jean.
I also want to throw in that Breton, when you got that text from Jeremy, you and I were in the middle of texting each other, and you texted me to say, "Jeremy texted me asking to FaceTime, and I think I'm in trouble." Also, keep in mind that I am the musical director of this production.
This is true. So you were involved in the casting process. You knew what was coming. Okay.
So you guys are both mean, basically. You're both picking on me. That's lovely. Excellent, excellent. True colors.
Welcome
No,
to
I'm kidding. So, like the good boy I am, I went to the urinal, pulled out my phone, and answered the FaceTime. And Jeremy Webb did not get mad at me. Instead, he said, "Do you want to play riffraff?" And it was, we have pictures. Nah, if only I'd given you that picture to put up. Well, you can all envision it for yourself. Just Jeremy Webb, me, a lot of tears, and a urinal.
Yeah, you took a screen capture. I mean, I wasn't trying to get you to talk to me in a washroom specifically, because that would be really weird. But that was where you went. And so now there are actual images of the AD of Neptune casting someone with a urinal right behind them, which I think is great. And then later that night at a party, you sent me a video, which do I have that here?
I have a few of those videos.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I wouldn't show it. I wouldn't show it. I would not show it. So Avery Jean.
Yeah.
Avery Jean. let's give Breton a breather there. Take us through the beer.
That as soon as Breton got off the phone with you, they phoned me, I said hello, and they screamed, "I hate you."
That's what I got later that night.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Can I tell them what the video contained, Breton? I'm not going to show it. Basically, it was a video of you at a party saying, "F you, Jeremy Webb. F you, Jeremy Webb."
Well, my career ends tonight. Thank you.
No.
All. It's been.
I think it only begins. People want to see that video, but I'll never show it.
Oh no, that was my father.
Is that your?
This
dad?
is not good.
Hi, Dad. Oh, and
All
right, look, let's have a little conversation. Avery Jean, tell us a little about your history with Neptune Theatre, because you've been around as long as I have. So
actually, yes. I mean, you and I are very close in age, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, we're both 30. Job security. No, I first got involved in Neptune Theatre doing the theater school summer programs when I was like 13. And I was doing like the musical theater boot camp that they used to offer at Sacred Heart. And around then the auditions for the children's chorus of Oliver in 2006 were coming up, and I was still a child in 2006. And I auditioned, I got cast, and it was the very first musical I had ever done in my life. I was playing two orphans, and Jeremy Webb was also in that show. You were in the ensemble, and you were understudying Bill Sykes.
I was, and I never got to go on.
No, but you were great in the understudy run.
Thank you. You were the only person that saw it.
I was the only one paying attention.
It's true.
Then I remember every night backstage, you and I would start in the wing, like stage left, and you would just like make us and the other kids laugh and get and just say like the most like kind but like child appropriate things, but still like kind of inappropriate.
Or like, don't screw up.
Yeah, you would like yell at us, but like funny yell at us.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. And then I did the walking program, did all those things, and went away. Oh, and I did the pre-professional training program after I finished high school when that still existed. And then went out west, was gone for a while, lived in BC for 6 years, and came back to Toronto. And then I finally applied for the Chrysalis Project when that first got announced, right when you became the AD.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in the middle of rehearsals for a musical that I wrote in Toronto called The Pansy Craze. And you texted me through Facebook Messenger, and we weren't even Facebook friends yet.
Oh, yeah.
And you just said, "Congratulations," was all that it said. And I wrote back, "For what?" Oh, no, you went, "How are you?" And I was like, "I'm good. I'm just in the middle of rehearsal." And you wrote, "Congratulations." And I was like, "Thanks. I'm having a good time doing my first original musical." And you wrote, "That's not what I'm congratulating you about." And I was like, "Oh, dear." And then you said Chrysalis, and I very like coolly and calmly was like, okay, great. I look forward to your email, because I was just like, I need to be as professional as possible. Meanwhile, you're there sliding into my DMs. And I came back and I got to work on Cinderella with you, and then that.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh.
There we are. What was great is you were there for the inaugural year of Chrysalis.
I was.
This is for those people that are watching that don't know what Chrysalis is. It's a mentorship program that we initiated when I started at Neptune to take. I don't like to use the word emerging because it implies inexperience or even youth, but it basically people at a transitional point in their career where they want to either move in a new direction or bolster their experience and training, and we pay them to a nominal amount, unfortunately, but to work on shows for the season, usually 2 each. It's supported. It's now called the RBC Chrysalis Project. Since we started, they've come on board as a sponsor, and it also receives funding from Arts Nova Scotia for the 2 years that we've done it so far. And here's a photo of the Chrysalis folks that worked on Cinderella. Oh, I'm wearing the same jacket. How embarrassing.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No.
I almost wore that dress tonight.
What?
Yeah.
It's too big for me now.
But as you can see, the 5 chrysali that worked on Cinderella held me in the utmost respect. But then you auditioned for a show. This is a little like This Is Your Life. There used to be a TV show called This Is Your Life. You auditioned for a show.
Yeah.
What was that? What happened?
Well, to lead into that a bit, I want to go back a bit with what you said about transition in your life artistically, because my application for the Chrysalis Project was a lot about how I felt coming out as a trans feminine person.
Right.
Was going to be shutting down the acting career that I had been building up at West, which for 2 years it did. And I was like, great, I'm trying to move into musical direction and music and composition, and that'll be how I stay in the arts. So please, for the love of God, accept me into the Chrysalis Project. On top of also I'm wildly qualified. So, but then getting to be in the room doing Cinderella and watching how you and Sam Walks put together that show, and just kind of the effect of being in a room with Samantha Walks just kind of inspired me to go like, well, hold on, like. Yeah. If Sam's able to come in here and be like, oh, this glass ceiling, let me just like break through it. I'm also very talented, so maybe I could do that.
I love a glass ceiling because I like to hold a big rock in my hand and pass it around, and that's exactly how I felt when Sam and I were talking about her doing Cinderella. You know, we talked about it last week when she was on the show. She auditioned me for the job about why I wanted her to play Cinderella. Well, she was the best person for the job. There's a ceiling over her head in that role. And yeah, she smashed through it. So anyway, I interrupted you.
Yeah, so getting to watch that just kind of made me be like, hold on, I'm incredibly spunky. Maybe I got a good throwing arm. And I like your rock. So when you announced the season following and that there would be another pantomime that you'd be writing for Peter Pan, I wrote you being like, hey, I want to be seen for this as an actor. And you're like, great. Yeah. So I came in, I did my thing for the generals, and I was like, by the way, I can actually sing and act. I hope you enjoy. And a few months later, I got the official offer from my agent.
That's cool. I'm so happy you did. And of course, Peter Pan was the holiday show last year. We had there's a rehearsal shot. I think it was soon after this photo was taken that we realized we had to move the net a little, about 10 degrees around to the left, so we could see more of you and less of Jeremy Leggett, which is fair. And here you are, in a little emotional moment with Brandon Antonio, Peter Pan himself, as you reunite and rekindle friendship as one of the lost kids. Mm-hmm. So and then of course I then asked you to musically direct Rocky Horror because you'd so impressed everyone with your work and when everything else you do as well. So, which is cool. What is this pandemic at this point? What is it, other than causing us all to isolate? Has it had any direct impact on you yet? Are you has anything been cancelled? Have things been postponed for you at this point so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be next week opening a musical review of Scott Allan songs.
Oh wow!
That I put together with Scott Allan here in Toronto, called The Distance You've Come, at a cast of 6. Great mix of trans and non-binary artists, as well as some artists of size, artists of color from a lot of different backgrounds that we were trying to take Scott Allan's music and say, like, great, and here it is through these lenses, and let's have a good time. But unfortunately, with everything going on, we had to pull that.
Yeah. And what about you, Breton?
Oh man, I have, because I'm a stand-up comic as well, right? So in my normal life, I do about 5 to 7 shows a week.
Oh yeah.
So yes, I have experienced a great loss of shows and income. But one of the shows I was supposed to be doing was a showcase for Just for Laughs Canada.
Oh yeah.
It was really upsetting to lose, but in a nice turn of events, the organizing agent accepted all the Just for Laughs comedians' tapes. So hopefully they'll showcase them as a live stream at some point. I just keep thinking that we're lucky to at least live in a time where we have the ability to connect like this, because as it allows us to try to continue to make art in some way, right? Which is great. And like, for example, a theater company in Halifax did a live reading of a play of mine a little bit ago. So that was lovely. So it's, the things like that are lovely. This is lovely, but yes, definitely have lost a lot of work.
Yeah, and I know that everyone is working for all the theater companies, all the arts organizers. Well, everyone in every industry is working hard to try and make plans for the future without really knowing what's going to happen. We've got a few messages here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my aunt and uncle, Nadine and Dave.
And Leslie, of course, is an actor and a performer and a singer. Avery, I don't know whether you know Leslie. Leslie was in a different production of Oliver that I was in and did a kick-ass job as Nancy. We're talking years ago now. So, yeah. And Michelle Angel, who always has a comment, is referencing the understudy run that we mentioned a little while ago. Kelly Holliff is here.
Oh, Kelly,
thank you.
Hi, Kelly. All right. So it's nearly time for us to say goodbye. Strangely enough, half an hour has flown by. I wonder, I think maybe the last thing I'll ask you to do, have either of you got a message for folks out there who are maybe looking for words of wisdom from us about how to get through these next few weeks / months? What can we do to stay sane? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a few. I would say, I know, like, even myself, when this started, there was a lot of desire to just constantly be doing things and constantly stay productive and work on your craft. I'm like, okay, this is the ball game now. How do I keep working? How do I keep making art? How do I keep putting things out there for other people and supporting other people through this? And especially, like, how do I keep pounding the pavement? Right after the red carpet, like, I really just kind of hit the wall of like, oh wow, I'm exhausted, and that we have to keep in mind what we're all experiencing right now is ever-changing collective grief and trauma, and so our bodies and our hearts and our minds are operating at a slightly different level right now, and so the pressure to maintain the kind of productivity and pound the pavement, we kind of have to take off of ourselves right now, because they're actually, or right now, there is not a pavement to pound.
Right.
And trying to find 1-2 pound is only going to exhaust you further. So when you have those dark moments, they're going to hit you harder, they're going to last longer. But if you take this time now to, like, this time can also in a way be a gift, because we can finally, for the first time as artists, who are often trying to figure out how we can fit into the world and how we can fit into marketing our skills financially and standing a living in that way. Right now, we can just do it for ourselves. You can stay home. All that I've been doing lately is free writing. I have like 3 projects that I was writing before this that I'm just putting away and writing when I want to write and what I want to write for fun, singing what I want to sing for fun, play readings with friends of mine, but like closed readings. Like, I'm not even doing those like open Zoom, like, come and watch all these people read this thing. Like, no, it's just for us. And it's just us being as indulgent as possible. Find the things we've always wanted to do and just do them and get in touch with why we love being artists again. And that for me has been so healing and calming through this entire process.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to remember. I know that I'm constantly trying to, and some of us are at home with families and children, and suddenly we find ourselves being school teachers and realizing that we are never going to be school teachers.
Who knows anymore?
And we miss them. What about you, Brennan? Any final words and thoughts for the folks out there?
Yeah, sure. To speak, completely forthrightly, which is something I try to do through my work always. As someone who is diagnosed depressive, but it's under control, I find that when I'm really busy, I have an easier time validating my existence, yes, as a trans person, but also just as a human. And when I'm forced to slow down, and I'm not running around the city doing a million shows and working a day job, and I'm really forced to actually live with what I'm feeling. And as uncomfortable as that is, I think there is a great comfort in knowing that this is the great equalizer in a lot of ways, right? We're all going through that right now. We all have a lot of us have a lot more time to sit and kind of stew in what we're feeling. And I think that in our modern world is something that far too often we overlook because busyness, because. So I think that my message would just be, whatever you're feeling right now, it's completely valid. You don't need an external source of anything to validate it. Just know that what you're feeling because it's real, and feel through it. You don't need to look for things to distract yourself from it, because the healthiest path and the one that's going to ultimately be the most rewarding is through. And, reach out to people, talk to people, because we're all feeling the feels right now. That's my message.
Yeah. I really want to, like a lot of people here commenting right now. I think both of you have just given us some words that help us and give us pause as we go through this time.
I would say just kind of the idea that we're being afforded this time right now to kind of relearn who we are outside of what we do. And that's terrifying and beautiful, so just take it.
Yeah. Thank you both for coming in. It's so good to see you. I can't wait to see you in person and work with you soon. And especially now you've moved here. We spent all that time. We spent all that time trying to get you to move here, and then you did, and then we had a pandemic. So
I will also say, right before Brenton left, they're like, "Oh my God, like I'm moving during a pandemic, and Nova Scotia just is like doing the stuff with its borders." And I said, like, "Well, we're in the middle of a global crisis. You're allowed to hold your move off and like call some people, and we'll like find you somewhere to stay in Toronto." And Brenton was like, "You're right, I'll do that." And then 2 days later, I text Brenton just going like, "Hey, how's that going?" And their response is, "Oh, I'm in Quebec."
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
There's some Tauruses. That's all I have to say.
Look, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let everyone head out into their evening. It's been great catching up. We will do more. We will talk again. Thank you both for being here, and stay safe. And if you need anything, you know where to find me. I mean, you don't literally know where to find me because I wouldn't ever give you my personal address or want you to show up at my door. But I call me if you need me. No, don't even. No. And let's not let anyone know that right now you're just the other side of my basement door, living just over here.
I swear. Debbie?
Yeah. Oh. Ow. What? I'm on the computer. I'll bring you some of this.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm gonna say goodbye to these two and then sign off. Take care. See you soon.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you too. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
So, folks, thank you for watching again. We hope you had fun and are enjoying these little nightly check-ins. Tomorrow night, it's a reunion of sorts of some of the cast of our production at Neptune Theatre of Shakespeare in Love. Ali MacDonald, Wayne Burns, and Sarah English will be here reminiscing and swapping stories of Shakespeare and love and fun. So thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Remember, if you are in any way able to support an arts organization at this time, they are all suffering right now. Every single theater company, orchestra, musician that you know has, like many people in many industries, lost their income. So feel free to reach out to them. Neptune Theatre, of course, would appreciate any help you can give us as we navigate this time, having shut everything down for a number of months. Thanks again to our guests, and I will see you next time tomorrow night. Thanks very much. Take care.